Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Community Corner. You see, today I'm joined by Nathan Mooney.
Casual Mooney, dude.
Yeah, Casual Mooney Day, no shoes Mooney, and our lead designer, hero designer, Cameron Winston.
That's me.
How you guys doing?
You expect them to answer?
Yes.
They're doing great.
No, how you doing?
Oh, how am I doing? I'm doing
You
fine.
can't see my eyes. I was like transitioning over here.
Yeah, you are. You know, because you're cool.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're cool, because I can't see your eyes.
Dude, looking good, feeling good.
I'm gonna ask Cameron and Mooney very memey questions.
Okay.
Like, oh, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You weren't ready for this one.
I'm not ready.
What's your favorite hero?
My favorite hero? I've told you. I've answered this question already on Steam. They're all my favorite hero, and I can't have favorites because I make them all.
That's the memeiest question ever.
That's the memeiest question. No,
Yeah,
no,
because
the memeiest
he
question.
has to have a, no, wait. What's
The
your
memeiest
favorite
question is, when is Legacy coming back? That's the memeiest question.
No, I don't think so, because if you give a hero some love, like if I can just get you to commit to that, then people will be re-examining the heroes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
So what's your favorite hero skin? I think this is where we went last time.
My favorite hero rework recently.
No. Favorite hero skin.
Hero skin?
Yeah.
What's my favorite hero skin? No, I hate that one. No, I know the one you're talking about. Not that
There's only
one.
one skin that's your favorite, dude.
No, there's only, no, but the Snakebite Murdoch probably. Maybe.
So he says Snakebite Murdoch, but he has a true favorite that
That's
you
not
won't.
true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
He's trying to avoid it.
No, it's not true.
Okay.
It's never been true.
all right.
You can't hold me to anything.
This week, as always, if you have questions, let me take it off. If you have questions, leave them down in the comment section, Reddit, forums, anywhere, Twitter, tweet us the questions. These are some more questions that I took from Discord, and I threw in a couple curveballs there at the beginning for Cam. So real trendy, can we get some card teases for your boys?
For your boys.
Oh, I wanted to answer this first, because you know what we're talking about this week?
We dim boys.
We
We
them
dim
boys, the
boys?
card system.
Yeah, the card system. Is that?
Dim boys, the card
Yeah,
system.
dim boys.
That's what we're talking about. No, but we're going to talk about cards a little bit today.
Yeah.
A little bit more. So there's Trendy's question. Luca Song asks, what's your opinion on the current state of Muriel?
Current state of Muriel. So Muriel is like one of those heroes that's kind of like, I guess frustrating is not the right word, but like very challenging to find the right balance point on, because like depending on how the hero is played and the situation the game is in, like she's either like has the potential to be like stupidly good or like completely unimpactful.
Right.
And like we struggled a lot with like, you know, kind of, you know, how her shields work. I think one of the biggest problems she has is not even a Muriel problem. It's just like, how do you pick the right dude when you're ulting? Is like,
Sure.
And that's something that like I've hated forever, and like I always wanted to fix it, but I haven't been able to yet. Like that'd be like the dream. Like if I could like fix one thing about Muriel, and Kalari too for that matter, would be like, how do we make this targeting awesome, especially on a controller? Like, because it's like, it's got to be like, you're like, oh, there's like 4 guys over there, and they're all like this big, and like, oh, man, I clicked on the wrong one, rip the dream. You know, like that sucks. Like,
Right,
so
yeah.
I want it to be like, I want that to be better. Like, and also with like the new Land of 42 kind of stuff that we're doing, like she's getting like, we have to see kind of where she lands, and
Right.
there's a lot of work we have to do. Like, but I would say like, you know, we're about to get into a time where like right now we're kind of, you know, biding our time with a lot of stuff to like see how the 42 land starts to work. But as we start to move into later this year, if we start seeing heroes like totally underperforming, we're gonna start like looking at them and like, okay, we're gonna like say this hero needs love. What are we gonna do?
Right.
Let's start challenging our notions about like why we thought this was good in the first place,
Right.
and let's make sure that we're actually doing the right things for the hero while also maintaining what it is the hero is good at. Like obviously like a version of Muriel where she doesn't like fly through the sky and give you shields is probably not something we want to do.
Right.
Because that's kind of like a really iconic
It's like
thing.
a heroic.
But you
iconic
don't.
thing,
But you
yeah.
don't want her or like her pick, her decision, in-game decisions to be reliant upon somebody's ability to execute on something that may not be executable in the best fashion.
Well, you want it to be like, Kale's in trouble. I'm gonna ult to him, and then it doesn't happen, and then you're like, you lose the game because
like,
you
if
shielded.
I know the thing I want to do,
Yeah.
just being able to do it on the character efficiently and effectively.
Because how much did that affect her win rate? Like, how many games are lost because the Muriel ulted the wrong person? Like, I don't know.
Definitely,
I mean,
some engagements around at least losing team fights happens for
I've
sure.
personally lost a game where I've ulted the wrong person as Muriel. Like, it's happened to me even. Like, I can't even imagine how many times it's happened to a player.
I mean, I don't know what that's like because I'm a professional, but I understand that.
Yeah, because well, for those of us who aren't perfect at the game, sometimes we
the
lose
guy
games.
that doesn't have a master skin, he's a professional.
The master skin is tattooed on his heart.
It's true. It's tattooed on my heart.
Yeah.
I had to get you your master skin.
Yeah, dude, and I appreciate it. I'm eternally thankful.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
This guy. Okay, so hopefully that answers Luca's question thoroughly. Third Marshall asked, my question is basically is, will wards still be 3 points, or is the entire idea of wards changing? I may have another one when I remember what it is.
So what was the other question?
Dude, let us know, dude. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the
when
comments.
you
What was the other
remember.
question?
This is wrong because he asked this on Discord.
Why is it wrong? Isn't that what he typed?
That is what he typed.
Okay, well, there you go.
Okay.
Hey. Anyways, so the answer to the question is wards. So to start off, the one of the biggest changes, which I'm very comfortable talking about now, is there are not going to be card points anymore. We are going to have currency in the game. So MOBA card points is an expression of economy, because remember, MOBAs come from RTS games, and essentially, whether you're playing Command and Conquer and you're getting crystals, or you're playing StarCraft and you're getting Vespene gas, or you're playing any of the old school RTS games that birthed the genre,
Right.
you're getting some kind of economic resource,
Yes.
and you're pulling it out of the map. And you're using it to build your base and your structures, your units, and then the innovation of MOBAs was hey, let's just take this cool idea for heroes and get the money into a more sort of streaming thing. But if you kind of abstract what a MOBA is, it's essentially there's mines in the map, and in order to mine the gold, you have to be vulnerable. And the other team is trying to harass your mining attempts so that they can mine the gold.
Sure.
And whoever mines the most gold makes the most weapons, and the person with the most weapons and the most tanks wins. That's essentially how MOBAs work if you completely distill them. So card points was our money. It was our gold. It was our crystals, whatever it is you want to call it. So what we're doing is rather than have card points, we're going to have just some kind of currency which is more numerically represented. I don't want to name it because the name can change.
Right.
But essentially, like I said, it's just it's a value. You're gonna kill something, you're gonna get 100 of it, and then you're gonna spend it like it was gold or gems or whatever. And that's gonna be a couple of really great things come out of this. Number one, card points, because there's only 60 of them, are really hard to divide into smaller card points. I can't be you earned, this card costs 1.3 card points. It's not a thing we can do.
Right.
Because who even wants to know what that UI looks like? That's terrible.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of other things that go into it. So being able to take the concept of a max item build and divide it over a much higher number, kind of it kind of like the difference in, if you've ever played old RPGs, Final Fantasy, why do they go 9999 for damages? It's
Right.
because it's easier to do 800 damage, 700 damage, 600 damage, up to 1,000, than if everything was in thousands. Your next tick of increment is another 1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to allow us to much more finely tune costs of things. The first thing. The second thing it's going to let us do is it's going to let us uncap the economy, which is something that's
Did you hear that?
which is something that's really been a thorn in our side for a long time. It's we got to 60 and now the game's stagnated, and if we just wait long enough, my carry will catch up to you because there's an end to money.
Yep.
So we have uncapped the economy to the point where there's no longer an end to money. So we can do that now. So you essentially are just going to get money out of the world, and you're going to spend your money on things, which is then and if you're ahead in economy, you're always going to be ahead in economy until you're not. If you start feeding and throwing, then yeah, you're gonna lose. But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. If the other team makes great plays,
yeah, plays of a larger size.
Yes.
Yes, not
Mooney
small
level
plays.
plays.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Mooney
You just
level
gotta make
plays.
those Mooney level plays, guys. Get out there.
Yeah, Mooney
Hashtag
level
Mooney
plays.
level plays. Let's go.
Hashtag Mooney. Hashtag explain Mooney fire. So when you have, so anyway, so that being said, will they cost 3 card points? No, because there won't be card points. However, I think, like I said, I can't fully answer the specifics of this question because these kind of things change frequently, and I don't like lying and so I never do it. So
Right.
essentially, like, I don't want to say something that might be false later, and then someone goes, but Cameron said this thing that wasn't true, and then it's like I'm maliciously lying. I just, like, things change. So the thing I know for sure is we have too many wards in the game right now.
Yep.
We need less. We need fewer wards, excuse me. And, like, so I would like to, we are definitely going to make it so that placing wards is a much more meaningful and impactful and rarer occurrence than just, wards, everyone has
Christmas
wards.
tree on
Yeah.
the mini map.
Yeah.
Exactly. So look for, please look forward to it, as they say.
Yes. And with that, I feel like there's a number of heroes that this directly affects. Most importantly is probably Kalari, which we talked about in the
Yes.
past. So
Kalari's going to get real good with absolutely no changes, just because, like, she's already pretty good right now, but, like, she's going to start, like, you're just not going to see games where everybody has wards.
There's a lack
It's
of
not
tension.
gonna-
There's a lack of tension right now with
Yeah.
regards to vision.
yeah, for sure.
And it's also going to be way more impactful when someone picks a Wraith and goes, oh, wow, like, we have free
have sick
vision. Like,
wards.
this is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
So that is a question about wards. It also hits one of the things that we wanted to talk about in today's deep dive on the car system.
this Real Trendy's question for
Yes.
them boys.
The second one for Real Trendy is a card tease. So I actually have a card tease, no art or anything like that, but we're at least going to talk about an effect.
Yeah, an effect.
One
So-
of the 100+.
2 weeks ago, Colin talked about there being more than 100 effects on the cards that are coming with this, and I have one for you guys today.
Yep.
Singular.
And this one is called Veil Stepper.
Turn around.
Veil Stepper. All right. Enter the shadow plane
Lyrical gangster. No.
for 3 seconds after passing through a fog wall. That sounds like a jungler's delight.
Yep. That's awesome. There's a lot of cool cards like that.
That's amazing.
I haven't actually used that one yet because there's so many now in playtest that, like, you can't. Like, I play a game every day,
And you play with some new cards.
and yeah, I try to. But it's like also like you want to like kind of use the same cards to get an idea of them.
Right. Generally,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the kind of build I'm going for.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like it's all so new that it's like there's so much to learn and take in that
Yeah.
like and a lot of the stuff's starting to come online now, and it's really exciting.
Well, and Colin kind of touched on that with like the like you wanting to be able to actually have options and like
Right.
meaningfully make decisions rather than just doing the classic spreadsheet min max like
Yep.
that. I know a lot of like hardcore players out there. Like I myself, like in plenty of games I played before. Like you just open up the spreadsheet, do the math, like figure it out. It's like, all right, this is the optimal path. But like coming into the new system, being able to understand that like, hey, this is the best path for this scenario, but in this scenario, this is actually the slightly better path. It like adds a lot more time invested into like.
What I love about some of the things that touching on that is that when I've played in the playtest with the new card system, it doesn't feel like I just want power, because what I find right now on live, for instance, like Stasis Gym is a perfect example. If Stasis Gym just had mana,
Oh, excuse me.
I feel like players would go, well, I don't necessarily know if I value that. Does it have power on it so I can get more damage because I want
Yeah,
to just
yeah,
be
yeah.
stronger and kill you? So it's like our card system right now needs to make this decision between, okay, I have an impactful card, but does it have the stat that I care about the most? And now
Right.
it's more like I have an impactful card and it feels really good.
Yeah.
Right? Like
So-
it's not
so-
making that choice between
Right.
the stat game versus the impact of the gameplay.
The design term for this is we're going from a system with perfect itemization and perfect allocation to one with imperfect allocation. And this is one of those things where it's like a lot of times when people talk about like what they want in games is like they're like, I wish I could just allocate my own stats. I wish I could get exactly the stats I want. But the problem is that frequently the things that we wish are actually not fun. Like it's not actually fun when everyone can get the stats they want, because then there's a correct build. And the dream is like, oh, we're going to make it so that, this build is just as good as that build, but frequently math doesn't work that way. It's almost impossible to balance things like what is 100 damage versus like 5 mobility. You can create what they call assumptive like kind of math connections to things, and you can sort of like math out like exactly how much damage it is, but you're still basing your math relationships on assumptions that aren't necessarily true.
What
Right.
you tell me 7 Gideons doesn't equal 1 Twin Blast?
Yeah, that's how it works.
And I think that goes into a thing in games and at least from a PvP standpoint, where your objective is to like destroy the other person, is people value time to kill.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
what is the optimal time to kill in every scenario? What is the optimal time to kill? All right, we're going to be in an engagement, and am I going to drop you in 0.5 of a second? Okay, yes. All right, let me make the build in order to do that.
Well, it's also a question of like, so one of the core design tenets is good design has to have good user feedback, right? So like when you talk about like I'm a player in a game, pick a game, any game you want. If I buy damage, there's a number that occurs on the screen that shows me the damage. So if I was doing 700 damage and I'm doing 800 damage, it's demonstrably more. If I'm attacking this fast and now I'm attacking this fast, it's easy to see. But if I increase my health by 33%, that is something that is invisible. Like, sure, the number changes on the screen, but you don't feel health increases the way you feel math increases in damage. So a lot of times it's super unsexy to buy health because like players will buy a bunch of health and then they still die because of course you have to die. And they go,
Right.
health does nothing. It's like, well, you would have died maybe 3 seconds earlier, but that's not something that shows up in the death recap, and it's not something that you feel. But you do feel killing someone 3 seconds faster. And that's, I think, one of the main problems with like having a perfect itemization is like you theoretically, in a world where everybody builds all perfect damage, the guy who builds perfect defense still has to die. And
Right.
because of that, everyone just goes, well, screw it, I'll just build perfect offense too. And so now in our itemization system, we have like, okay, you want this effect, it comes with these stats. You want these stats, it comes with this effect kind of thing. And there's a lot of like, weird kind of like interesting trade-offs that have to be made between like, if I want 15 of this, I got to get 7 of that. And the choice is 15 and 7 or 10 and 3. What?
It's push and pull, dude.
What?
It's push and pull. You want the stats. You may not be able to get the effect you want. You want the effect you want. Pull.
All right. Anyways, moral of the story is if you're choosing between 15 and 7 and 10 and 3, it's a much more interesting choice because it's not necessarily optimal. You're always getting kind of like the raw deal somewhere.
Right.
And choosing where you get the raw deal is actually more interesting than just not having like, look, this is perfect. There's no flaws.
Right.
Like that feels terrible. It always will.
And then the last thing, if we can touch on it here very quickly, is affinities. How are they different?
So, due to reasons why, which I am not able to fully disclose.
Okay.
Each affinity, we will now have the power to really lean into affinities doing more things. So, like, we're going to make, order will have effects in order that do not exist in non-order. We'll have, effects that exist in growth that do not exist in non-growth.
Right.
That's how it will be.
And there are a couple of them, I feel comfortable saying this, a couple of them have been renamed.
Yes.
Right. So without fear of messing them all up off the top of my head, they have been renamed as well to be more indicative of
Are we allowed to say the names?
Do you know all of them? Yeah, sure.
I know the names. I'm just not sure. Am I allowed to say that?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, so
Yes.
we renamed intellect to knowledge. We renamed corruption to death. And we renamed fury to chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah, so it's going to be order, knowledge, death, chaos, growth.
There you go.
Nice.
And we'll have more information soon.
Yeah, which is like, it's got some cool narrative reasons, which I'm not going to talk about because we have narrative people.
Narrative, lore.
Yeah. There's good narrative reasons to why we did this. And also like, because intellect is one of those names that always kind of stuck in our craw a little bit. There's like one of those like, well, why did we do that?
Right.
And it's because we were redoing a lot of the card system anyway. It was like a great opportunity to go back and fix some of those old mistakes that we made.
Right. Yeah.
So, is there last words that any of you guys want?
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
So Mooney. A mixtape is fire because it's hot.
Yeah.
So
Got it,
so the
dude.
heat burns those around. Yeah, that's. I wanted to make sure you understood that.
Oh.
Yeah, see,
You
it's
see,
hot. It's hot.
I thought he meant the opposite of hot, which was the
Cold.
cold.
No.
That's on me.
Cold, yeah, that's on
hey,
you, yeah.
Hey, guy, that's on me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know we talked about the Iggy rework last week, but I've just been like not on my
Yeah.
game. Forgot my shoes today.
Hashtag explain fire to Mooney.
Came in at like 1 p.m. Just I don't know what's going on in my life anymore.
Push.
This
This is more like a push and pull into Mooney.
what is happening?
I don't know.
Please.
It's fine.
With that being said, guys,
Car system, get hyped.
Fire
Stuff's
is
happening.
hot.
Let's go. Fire.
And the card system is fire because it's hot.
and we're out.
Take care.